are we noticing as we look at the tables? Dana, what do you notice?
I see lots of books.
There are still lots of books. Do you notice anything else? Sarah?
That we still need to collect books from that table, and over there we have to pile up the books so people could see them from big, medium, to small.
Okay, now it's funny that you said that because a lot of people were starting to look at things like big, medium, and small. But then, remember yesterday when we were talking a little bit about categories for books? What did we decide on when it came to sorting our books? What were people thinking when it came to the best way to sort our books? What should we be using for our sorting?
Types.
Right, and we've kind of split them because we decided to start looking at things like real and not real. But we look at this not real pile. There's like lots of different things happening over here. How is anyone ever going to find the not real kind of book that they want? How's anyone going to find the fiction book that they want?
By piling them up by big, medium, and small, and make signs so they could read it and with a picture.
Okay, but what kind of big, because...
And then they will read and look at the picture, and then they will know which books they're looking for. And we might need another table for that.
Okay, now, if we think about it, because we might want to use our tables for other things, do we think that we want to leave all our books just piled on the table?
Like that?
No. Where could we put our books so that people might be able to go through them, but we could still use our tables? What could we do with them? Cody, what might we be able to do? We could, and we could put some on the shelves. What else could we do with some of our books? Mariana?
We could change the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be about that. It could be about the size. So it's easier. Like, the size would be this big, because what if someone wants a small book with more pages?
Oh, okay. So the size might not be that important, but where could we put the books? Because if I just lift them all over the table, we'd have a lot of books to find and look through. But what about when I want to write at the table? I wouldn't have a place to write because it'd be covered in books. What could I do instead? Where else could I put them? Dibia?
You could put them on a shelf.
I could, but I don't have shelves for every book. Look at all the books around.
No, it's like something different.
Yeah?
Like, get some books, put them on a shelf, or put them on the other shelf.
Okay.
Or else, if there's not some room, you could just spread out the books on some places, like spread out these books.
And I could spread some out, but I might
just
still
a little bit.
But I might still want to use the tables for like writing or other work, and it's hard to work on top of books. Wonder if there's somewhere that I could put extra books that might not fit on the shelves. Where might I be able to put those?
Okay, I'll talk to Paula.
Jordan, what are you thinking?
Maybe if there's no room on the tables and people want to use the tables,
Yeah?
maybe you could stack the books up in piles.
And I could put them in the middle in piles, but then you know what might happen? Let's say you're working at a table, and I've got this big stack, and I say, you know what, I really want this book. So I go to grab a book, the book I want is in the middle, and everyone's working around me, and I go to grab this book, and what's going to happen to all the others?
It's going to fall, so we should put some on chairs too.
But I might want to sit on a chair, so it could go on a chair, but I'm thinking, like in the long term, I want to be able to get the books, but I also want to be able to work at the tables, work on the floor, sit on a chair. I wonder if I had something that I could like put my extra books in that could then maybe go around the room somewhere. Like, where could I put those extra books? Natalia?
bins.
Ooh, look at that. I do have a bunch of bins. So maybe I could put them in bins. Well, let's say I did put them in bins. Sarah had made a suggestion that when we had organized by not true and true, or fiction and nonfiction, then she said, well, we could then organize them by big, medium, and small. Okay, so let's say I did that. Well, I have this big book, and this book is pretty big, and this book is also big. Do those books, though, are they all on like the same topics?
I was meaning like you have to measure them, and if they're too big, you have to put them in a different pile.
Yeah.
And put the small ones on the top.
But this is the problem, because let's say I'll put the big ones, okay? Let's say I do this, and I put these are all big, so I'm going to decide I'm going to put all the big books in a bucket. Except I have this book called Plantzilla. I have this book called Five Little Gefilte.
Where go filter?
It's a kind of fish, and a funny kind of fish. And I have this book called Dinosaurs Tell Time.
Tell
Are-
the time?
Right. Are they all on the same topic?
No.
So if I wanted a book like Dinosaurs about dinosaurs, and they're mixed in with all these other books, gosh, I'm going to be spending all day trying to find them. Like all day. I don't want to spend all day finding my books.
So maybe
How could I solve this problem? I've got it sorted, fiction, nonfiction, but now I'm stumped. Dana, what might I be able to do?
you can you can look at the books.
Yeah?
Look at how big this one is.
Yeah.
If I thought it should go in a bucket,
Yeah.
but this one, it's not big. Look it. It's pretty small.
But it's one of my biggest books. But if I put them all together and I want this Five Little Gefiltes, I could be spending all day looking for this one. So how could I possibly organize these books so that I can look kind of in the area that I
Mr. Smith or
want?
Mr. Carey,
You
please
can put
contact
it on the
102, that's
floor,
Mr. Smith
and
and Mr. Carey.
If somebody wants to use it, they grab it off, put it back where it was, and then when you want it, you can just reach down and grab it.
Right, but we have a lot of books that could be like all over the classroom. And I don't want to spend all day looking through the books for the one that I want. So is there another way? And Dana, let's go and think about this for a minute. Go sit down to think about this for thinking. How might I be able to like organize these so that I could find the books that I want on the topics that I want? Lily, what could I do?
You can put them on, like, we could take one book,
Yeah.
and we could put it on a chair, and then we can stack some up, and we could see the side, but if we wanted to see them, we could just pull them up, we could take them up, if the book was up, we could take it, we could put it up, and we could take the book where we want.
And that's true, we could, except that I could be looking for a long time if I had books all over the classroom trying to find the book. Like if I want a dinosaur book, I could be looking all day to find the dinosaur book because maybe it's mixed in with all these other books. So what could I do to help find the type of book that I want? What could I do? Yeah?
Maybe you can put the dinosaur place over here, and not, and the people place over there.
Samuel, let's think back to what we saw in the library. Remember how we had like the Robert Munch in one section and the dinosaurs in a section and the birds in a section and other.
That I was thinking, and when you were coming to that thing, I was thinking about that and the same thing.
Oh my gosh, I think that Samuel might be onto something here.
I
So-
think he just saw just
so-
like
So, so I wonder, as we've now kind of gone more sorted by fiction and nonfiction, can we now start to make some piles of types of books?
Yeah.
So maybe we could now start putting together dinosaur books and doll books and people books and Robert Munch books. And you've got to decide on the rest. And Dr. Seuss.